Yo, here is a video on quick tips for Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. One of the first things I wanted to show you guys, if you didn't know, where you first select your arsenal, they make it seem like there's only two choices. But if you walk over here to this room, there is a third choice. It's a heavy unit. It's okay, but it's another option nonetheless. Another important tip, and I got this one from Ali Barber, the reviewer on Forbes list, but he said this before the game dropped, but it's something you definitely should be doing, is farming scraps when you see them. When you see these purple blocks around the open world, you should definitely go out your way to break them open real quick, get the scraps. And another thing you need to be doing is mining. Mining will give you expansion chips and items to upgrade and create parts, as well as I believe it is a factor in actually unlocking the secret shop. So you definitely want to go out your way to do these. There's a huge rumor right now. I don't know if it's true, but they're saying you need perfect mines in order to get the secret shop. I'm not sure if that is the case, but I know it seems like most people are unlocking it while they're mining. So I definitely would go out your way to mine. Again, those give you items to not only upgrade some of your armors, and also craft weapons and expansion slots. As soon as you get access to the hangar, you are going to want to start eating ice cream as soon as you can. It is one of the requirements into getting access to the secret shop. As soon as you fill out your first stamp card, hopefully you have it. It has been being weird for people, so definitely stay on top of your mining, your side missions. We are still not 100% sure on what actually triggers the secret shop, but the secret shop is the only way to get some of the boss weapons in the game. Another tip is you should be trying to kill and loot every enemy you can. This will not only help you, get stronger, but you will also fill out your database every time you see another drop from an enemy. A lot of people I see are asking to see where you get certain items, but the game will actually tell you once you start looting them as you fill out your database. Always check your map, open map menu, enemy drops. You see I don't have everything, but the game actually has a really nice data table and has information on where to find pretty much everything. From DNA to blueprints to actual parts. You're going to want to use the scrap you collect to talk to this lady here to upgrade your base and your vehicles. I definitely recommend upgrading your shop as soon as possible and your lab as soon as possible. I feel like those are the more important ones. The shop will actually give you some pretty cool items that you might not have found yet in the open world. And the lab just increases the amount of skills you can equip. Just a quick tip on the fusion skills. If you don't mind looking like a monster, I definitely recommend trying to get as many as you can, as fast as you can. I definitely feel like you should not forget about the passives. If you've seen people with bigger health bars, bigger stamina bars, you get a lot of cool upgrades that will definitely help your overall gameplay if you focus on the passives. I have been slacking on these. I don't have that many, but it's definitely something I'm working on. And just remember that you will be able to get every upgrade in the shop, so don't worry about having too many or maxing out. Go ahead and get as many fusion skills as you can. Leveling them up does make a difference. I wish they told you exactly what does. From what I gather, it's just an overall increase, and usually the amount of stamina and or femto you use to use the skills also goes down as well. So you definitely want to max out your favorite skills as soon as possible. You should pretty much be abusing scan whenever you can. Scan will help you see items and object and decals through walls. You'll see enemies. You'll be able to see what enemies drop using scan. You should, again, pretty much just be spamming this whenever you can, whenever you're in a new area, whenever you're in a new room. It'll tell you, give you all the information you need in order to find loot, again, on enemies, and even what bosses drop and where their weak points are. Okay, so 2 tips on side quests is that important side quests that actually unlock features in the game will have a blue reward mark here. The second thing I want to say is that some side quests you will lose access to when you beat the game. So another tip for me would be to take your time and try to do as many of the side quests as you can. There are some things you can be locked out of. Granted, if you play with friends, they can take you to those quests or even get those items you might have missed in your playthrough. Here is another tip that I use quite often myself is don't forget to use the help menu. The help menu will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do certain things, and it even has information on certain items or special weapons that you actually find in here. So you definitely want to continue to check this and try to, you know, if you ever forget how to do something, remember the help menu. Here is another piece of advice I think I could give people, especially if you are into min-maxing, but do not get rid of your gear just because they don't have shifts attached to them. If they have good stats and they don't have shifts attached to them, you might be able to get lucky and find a blueprint that'll let you add a shift to that item or to that chest piece. So let's see if I have one for this one. It was Creus. Go to the armors and see, I can add any of these blueprints I found. I can add guard shift, assault shift, wing shift to any of these Creus, because you use your armor that you have. So this one has pretty okay stats. So if I wanted to upgrade this, I would. It has good DP, good defense, probably would be good, but it has bad aerial speed. So maybe I'd put wing shift on this to compensate for that, or I double up on defense and go guard shift. Or I don't think I would put assault shift on this, but that's not the important part. The important part is remember to keep your good graded armors so you can attach shifts to them when you find the blueprints. Another tip too is don't get rid of any of your attachments. I would definitely, if you sell your armors, keep your attachments. Those will be really good for min-maxing, especially your level 3s. I wouldn't worry too much about level 1s, but again, at this point, I would just hold on to all your attachments. You don't get a lot of money for selling them. You might as well hold on to them. Also, if you want to tell which type of assault shift you are going to get when you add assault shift to an armor, the gold is the bullet type assault shift, and the laser will be blue. Now, I am not sure if your armor type determines the type of assault shift you have. Maybe it's RNG, but so far all my armor types seem to have a specific type of assault shift. Like the eclipsXe is always laser, and the Creus will always be bullet, as far as I know. If anybody else knows that they can be different, definitely let me know down in the comments. But as far as it has been for me, certain armor types have been certain assault shifts. And I'm not sure, again, that could just be very bad RNG, but please let me know if you guys know. Alright. Another word of advice is to don't forget about your beacons. I should probably take my own advice here because I have been definitely slacking on these. I have now upgraded the restoration level so I get the whole map when I do restore them. But you should be looking for these and checking these on your map whenever you're in a new spot or new area to see if you have these. These can have pretty good drops in them. And I want to say there's an item you can only get through the beacons. I'm not 100% sure. But again, definitely would be recommending you actually opening these up and getting the most out of not only the open world, but these beacons. Another tip is do not sleep on these auxiliary units. Some of these auxiliary units will make a world of difference against bosses and certain encounters. You definitely want to use these. You can kind of slap them on any build. I definitely recommend you bringing something if you can fit it. Don't sleep on these. Propeller tank is just overall good. There's really no bad build to throw this on. The Atalantis, I think a lot of you Armored Core and Daemon X Machina players are gonna like these additional boosters you can get. Satellite shield, man, y'all seen the video. And flash grenades, jamming grenades, and even radar jammer will make some of these boss fights a lot easier if you bring them along on the trip. They don't usually cause too much memory. And again, they're just extra boosts for your arsenal without having to lose a lot, you know, besides for a specific one. But trust me when I tell you that this thing is worth bringing if you can make it fit. So, yeah, don't sleep on the auxiliaries. I'm pretty sure I have said this on stream and I have said this in another video, but when you are rematching bosses, you always want to bring Forge. Forge will give you an additional chance to drop an additional item when you're farming these bosses. And since a lot of them don't have big drop pools, he's just gonna help you farm a lot faster. Always bring Forge. I believe there are certain items that also do the same thing as Forge. Now, I don't think I have any of those right now, but definitely keep your eyes open for that if you want to farm. And shout out Rice Pirate. My cat going crazy. Another thing I wanted to add is to remember to share and analyze your keys and do your dungeons. Dungeons do have pretty good loot in them. Especially gargoyle rooms seem to be the best ones to come by, but you can get a lot of good loot out of these dungeons. So far, I feel like only the purple ones and up are worth doing. If anyone has done any good white or green cards, let me know. But the purple ones have good loot, and the gold ones usually have good loot. And I think so far every gold one I've done has had a gargoyle room. So make sure you bring something to take care of those. They seem to be a little harder in multiplayer, so I think I was wrong about that. But yeah, definitely remember you can share these. You can set your card key info, and that'll be the key card you share with other players. And yeah.
One day.
Another tip, which it might not be a really big deal, but I do think you guys should at least be aware of this, is to kind of abuse your ability to make different saves. I have a save just for people who lost access to the Revenger armor, so I'll be able to help people actually unlock that. That's just one way I'm using it. I also plan on when I get pretty much every item in armor piece in the game, I'm gonna have a separate save just to have additional slots, technically, just to play around for different builds and whatnot. Since we only have access to so many loadouts, I kind of wish they would at least double this. But again, a way we can kind of double it ourselves is just, you know, use another save data. So definitely just a little tip here that I think people could utilize, and also that Alchemist also does to he abuses the save in order to kind of control what he looks like with the fusion lab. So yeah, just be aware of that. You can kind of abuse your saves in this game. So yep. Yeah, just enjoy the game and don't be afraid to, you know, put it down. Some people have said they're burnt out on this game. Well, that is definitely fine. You know, put the game down. There's other things out. And yeah, this game will be here. We got content coming out soon. 2 new bosses, I think, next month. The expansion in November. and more bosses in December. So we're gonna have some content coming out. Again, this game will be here when you get back. We'll be doing some community events. I'll be streaming every Friday at least, most Fridays, to run some co-op with you guys. And yeah, man, just I hope you guys enjoy this. It's been fun. Um, I am finally pretty close to wrapping most things up, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of farming um, in my streams. So yeah, definitely hit me up. You guys be safe, and yeah, peace.